republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The next meeting, I'm vice mayor. I'm going to wear a red shirt, just in case. Need approval of the November 13 special council meeting. No, the regular meeting.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, saying aye.
Aye.
Abstain. Had two abstains. Matt? Matt? Abstain? Okay.
Aye.
Okay, sounds good. And we need approval of the December 2nd special council meeting.
So moved.
Who made it? Kurt? Kurt made it. Jerry second.
These guys can still vote to approve. Yeah, they.
All in
Okay.
favor? Okay. How you vote, Matt? Aye. Jerry?
Aye.
Ty?
Aye.
Kurt?
Aye.
Spot?
Aye.
Minutes approved. We'll take audience comments. All right, good. And your treasury report, Joey?
Doc, did you vote on the minutes for November 13th?
We did?
Did you?
No?
You only had 3 votes on that.
Okay, now vote aye.
Now, my council has the financial report in front of them for November. Four pages. And then for the Riverboat revenue summary. We see everything but our first quarter from the county. And obviously, we're getting our target of 1.4 million. That's what we're at right now. The summary for the Riverboat budget expenses, we have that as well. Really good question, they asked like some of the payments for the loans, for the police, the fire, different ones like that have been moved over to the safety lit, tax fund, so that we could free up some riverboat funds. And then I have, the nepotism form that just come in. I have a change order 1 for the Greendale Memorial Park, and, you have that in your packet, in the amount of $20,796.41. That is for the entire paving of the parking lot. I think the mayor was a little overzealous. He went ahead and signed off on it, they did it, but we really need an authorization for him to sign, to approve the change order.
So what's the ordinance number on that, Joey?
It's a change order for the.
It's a change order? Okay.
For the Memorial Park.
I guess the original bid did not include the parking lot
Right, correct. And, I forgot.
and the sidewalk. And when they got it done, they realized
Right, and I was gonna add.
they should have had that.
those
Should have had
funds-
that. So that's what it's for.
Those funds are available through the donations we've received.
He got $24,000 in donations, and this change order is for $21,000 basically, so it is covered.
And we did receive another $1,000 from the Dearborn Community Foundation. We were awarded an unrestricted grant for $1,000 this year. We have the money.
I'll make a motion, we approve the change order for the Greendale Memorial Park.
I'll second that.
Motion and seconded. Matt? Vote?
Aye.
Jerry?
Aye.
Ty?
Aye.
Kurt?
Aye.
Scott?
Nay.
Got that,
Get my
Joey?
last one in, right?
I'm sorry?
So I gotta get my last one in right.
That might.
I think we were supposed to approve this before it was spent, not after the fact.
I don't think it's been spent.
Well, the concrete's poured.
It's done. Yeah.
Yeah, that is all. That's all I had.
And we're going into the, you want those year-end reports in, right, Joey?
Yes. Yes,
Nepotism,
we got those. They did do them before this meeting, so we're good on that.
everybody's got them?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Anything else on your docket, Joey?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Redevelopment report, Jerry, got anything?
Nothing really new. We closed on 200 Ridge Avenue this week, and then we closed on Kelsey property today. So we now own that property. And they said they should have their building done by July or August this year. So,
Wow. We're gonna be moving on.
yeah,
Yeah, they are.
that's it.
Any questions for Jerry on redevelopment? Mayor's report, well, since he's not here, I guess he won't have one. But he did say on the change order, he explained that to me, that they didn't realize how important that parking lot was until they were finished with the memorial. Said it was, you couldn't even walk across there on a wet day. So he decided to go ahead and get it done while the guys were there doing it. And we have unfinished business here. Steve?
Yeah, I can do that. Parkside Community Crossings Grant, that project is done. The hot rubber sealant was put between the asphalt and the curb. It was done probably about a week and a half ago. We're processing the final bill at the Board of Works meeting earlier today. So that project is complete. And Joey, as I did at the Board of Works, so you can take that one off the agenda. I'll go on to the Ridge Avenue. That agreement, NDOT/city agreement, was approved at the last city council meeting. And the mayor signed off on it after council approved it, and it got sent to NDOT, the Seymour District, through their local public agency person there who executed some items there at Seymour. Then it got sent to they call it central office, which is in Indianapolis, where the director of NDOT signs off on it, and we'll get a copy of it back, and then we'll move forward with the project. So that portion of Ridge Avenue is from the cemetery entrance up to State Road 1. That project is to do some deep patching at various locations along Ridge Avenue, and then mill approximately 8 inches of pavement out. Maybe do some additional drainage improvements if there's any wet areas that are encountered. And then repave back with 6.5 inches of base material and 1.5 inches of surface, and restripe it, and hopefully that road will last a long time to come. And again, it's a 75% matching grant from the state, and we put in 25% of it. The total grant amount was $610,000, if I'm not mistaken. So it's moving forward. That's all I had on that, Mayor.
Thank you, Stephen. Anything else for the board?
Nope, not with that.
Okay. Okay, Jay, center stage.
Good evening, council.
Jay?
15 vacant houses, still holding at that 15 addresses right now, and I have nothing new for unsafe. Anybody have any questions for me? All right, thank you very much.
Enforcement. Okay, Anthony, what do we have?
I brought back before the board the second reading of ordinance 2019-25, and that's called an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Greendale, Indiana, repealing ordinance number 2012-1. That's our current net metering ordinance. like to replace that with ordinance number 2019-26, and that would be a second reading. And that's titled, "An Ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Greendale, Indiana, establishing interconnection for Greendale electric utilities." And if you remember, what we would like to do is replace the credit system that we have now for solar power and replace that with a system by which IMPA would directly pay people that produce excess power on the electric grid directly and take the city of Greendale out of that process. And that was at the recommendation of IMPA. So last month, we had the first reading. Steve had gained some more information from IMPA on that, so if anyone has any questions, we can answer those with tonight would be the second.
I sent that information to all the council, some questions that came up. I know Scott and I have talked, Councilman Libbert and I have talked a few times on it. He's had some really good questions about it. But in short, the net metering, for you to get any kind of credit, you would have to have a net generation out onto the grid for a month's period of time. With this new system, albeit they're going to be paying you at a lower rate, a wholesale rate, that any net or excess generation, whether it's on the first day of the month, the second, the 15th, whatever you put out onto the grid, that you will be able to get paid at that, what they call it, the marginal, locational marginal price, which is a rate that's established by IMPA, and there's a lot of federal regulations that were involved in this too. I was going through some of the records when IMPA first passed this. This was back in 2018, and then they started sending out some of the ordinances and some information. But I got an answer today regarding about that locational marginal price that they pay, and Peter Prettyman, he's the attorney for IMPA, answered me that they pay. He wrote here he wrote to encourage renewable development. However, IMPA actually pays 125% of the locational marginal price, so they're paying more than I guess that the federal regulators require. So they are on board about encouraging solar, or renewable energy. I'll try to answer any questions if I can.
Any questions for Stephen regarding these two ordinances? Do we act on those tonight, Anthony?
What did you say?
To pass on those tonight?
Yeah, I'd be looking for a motion on to pass ordinance number 2019-25.
I'll make a motion that we pass ordinance 2019-25, repealing ordinance 2012-1.
I'll second.
Ty. Jerry seconded.
Yes.
Mac, how do you vote, sir?
Aye.
Jerry?
Aye.
Ty?
Aye.
Kurt?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Okay. And pass the next one right away too, Anthony?
Yes, please.
We need a motion to pass ordinance 219-26.
Steve, is there any, I don't think I saw it mentioned, is there any fees arising for a customer's application applied to this?
It said, and I talked to Mr. Prettyman about that, they called it a generic application. They had like $100 fee on there, and from what I can tell, they're not, I asked Prettyman about that, what the other IMPA members are charging. I think the ordinance says that we're allowed to charge a reasonable fee to review, because these applications are relatively, they're somewhat complex. The equipment that is involved, Carl from the building commissioner has to review it, my guys have to review it, Jay gets involved in it. But I kind of posed that to Anthony. I was going to sit down with my guys and go through it and see what a reasonable application fee would be, considering the guys' times, and also that they would have to go out and do an inspection. Now, I want to get with Carl, because Carl from Lawrenceburg does all those inspections. I think there's a fee with it. So probably our time would be somewhat minimal from mine, Jay's, and Sean's time, but Carl probably will get involved with on-site inspections and looking at the equipment. I was going to throw out $25, $30 for us three to, process the paperwork and give it to Carl for a permit. That's where I was leaning.
So the customer's agreement is with IMPA, and so when the ordinance discusses the utility, that's talking about the city of Greendale, though, right?
It's for them to allow a entity to connect onto our system. That's the, I believe that's just the preamble to the ordinance, interconnection agreement, I believe they call it.
Right, but I'm talking about the portions talking about the inspection for the utility to do, that is us.
Right, and what we'll do is we'll put together a separate, we got a sample application, 2-page application that gets into a lot of the meat and potatoes of what the equipment is required, because it's pretty sophisticated from a safety standpoint too, that there's certain safeties in it to where if we lose power out on the grid, that their solar system also shuts down and does not send power out onto the grid where one of our guys could get hurt. So it's a pretty sophisticated system.
So I guess it's a little, bothers me a little bit that where we say a reasonable application fee to offset the cost. I feel like isn't that something that we generally name what that fee is going to be? Because what the word reasonable is so subjective. We might deem that it's $2,000 is reasonable, and
I kind of mentioned that. I didn't know if it needed to be in the ordinance. If you put, let's say we put $25 in the ordinance, we'd have to amend the ordinance if we ever in 5 years or something wanted to adjust it. So I think that's why it was kept out.
My opinion is I would just let the utilities set their fee for the application, and then when they change it, the utility sets it. But it's up to the council. If you want to put a number in there and then they want to change it in the future, then you can amend the ordinance. It's at the discretion of the council. You can put it in there tonight.
Don't we think we ought to just see how much time this takes before you guys set it? Leave this, if we need to put it in the ordinance, let it be in the ordinance that fee is going to be set by you guys, not by the council.
Yeah, I would say would that be a Board of Works type action as them governing the utility from the standpoint get approval for applications like that? I know the improvement location permit, it's right in the ordinance, and that we've been talking about amending that for some time. It definitely needs to be revised.
Yeah, that or the Board of Works can just set a policy for what the fee will be.
That'd be the best way to do it.
So that we don't need to list that in this ordinance then, okay.
Any other questions? Did somebody make a motion on that?
Not yet.
Okay, I didn't know.
I'll make a motion we approve ordinance 2019-26.
I'll second that.
Got a motion and seconded? Okay. Okay, Matt, vote.
Aye.
Jerry?
Aye.
Ty?
Aye.
Kurt?
Aye.
Scott?
aye.
Okay, motion passed.
Seconded, please.
Ty did. If there's no other business right now, we've got, you can write in the paper, Chris, Greendale year ends up with a bloody meeting. Big Scots. We've got 3 gentlemen up here who's attending their last Greendale City Council meeting. Scott, you've been here for 4 years. Thank you. Thank you, Howard. I think the city's better off. Huh? No, it's a pressure job. Have we got one down here for Mr. McCool? 8 years, right?
Yeah, 8, not consecutive, but 8 total. So,
Yep.
thank you.
I don't know.
And Ty Bow. I think you were on council before I was born. 16 years?
Yes, sir.
That's wonderful.
Well, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
It's a hell of a lot better having you on there.
Well, I appreciate that, and I'll tell you what, I gotta put a special thanks out to all you folks up here. You guys have made being a council member just outstanding, outstanding. And Linda, I can't go without saying something to you. I think you've been to as many council meetings as I have been, and I can't tell you how many times over 16 years you've changed the way I was gonna vote or my opinion on things. You've been wonderful in here as well, so thank you very much. So thank all you guys, it's been wonderful.
Voted out of office, I may be able to go back to and eat a dinner with you and lunch.
Yeah.
Is there any other business to come before this final meeting of the year? If not, entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Is there something else, Joy? Motion made and second.
Oh, yeah, we
Okay.
did do that.
All those in favor of the meeting adjourned, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?